Welcome back. Another episode of Bandana Canic. So got this probably another little electrical diag I could take you through. Customer said it just clicks. He said he changed the solenoid and it still does the same thing, so I already in my head have it down to either the starter or a bad ground. Both of those could do that, but I want to make sure that the solenoid's on right and everything as well, so let's take a look. Got my trusty test light. I don't even know what brand this is. I know it's not a no-name brand, but I love this thing. So anyways, we did indeed put a new solenoid on. Looks like they added another ground for some reason, but this green wire, that ain't exactly staying on there very good. Might have to crimp that down a little bit, but should do enough for what I'm trying to do this here. So let's see if it indeed clicks. Oh, yep. Alright. That little noise is just the brake box on these POSs. So, it's like the last video. Since it's clicking, I pretty much know it's got the trigger, so none of the safety switches are awry. Let's make sure it's got a decent battery voltage. Alright, so let's see, battery voltage. Yep, we're looking at 12.3. That's perfect. Alright. I know we got power to the solenoid, of course, because it's clicking. I know it's got the trigger because it's clicking. Thing I like about this test light is you're seeing it with the red. Well, that's, power wire. And green, if it comes up green, then that means it's the ground wire. So if I switch this over to the power, and I'm trying to see if we've got a good ground, well, I can touch the starter. There you go. I don't know if you can see that. Sorry for the earthquake. I don't know. See it lighting up green? Oh, turd. See it lights up green? 12.3. So it's got a good ground in it. So that pretty much takes that out of the equation. I'm going to check this one, make sure we got a good ground. Again, you got green. So that's a decent ground. So just to verify, we'll get down here to the starter. I gotta put it back on the... Sorry, I'm trying to do this with this stupid pot in my hand. So I got it on the ground side on the battery now, because I want to see if it's gonna get power here to the starter. So if you're getting power to the starter, and of course you can't see there either. Trying to figure this out for you guys. I'm sorry. Alright. I just want to see it. Good golly. Well, I don't know. I need 3 hands, and I don't got 3 hands, so I gotta figure how to do this. Okay, right there. Okay. Can we see that? I believe so. Man, if you've seen me, I look like an idiot right now. I'm holding this thing between my legs. Alright, so I'm going to turn the key. Oh, there we go. Getting power all the way to the starter. Yes, the voltage was low because the starter's bad, so it's got a lot more resistance in it. And that's why it's got the low voltage reading when I turn the key. But the fact that voltage is getting there and nothing's happening, I'll condemn the starter. There is one other thing. I want to make sure that the engine's not locked up. I mean, I don't hear the starter doing anything, so I'm pretty sure it's the starter. But I'm going to go grab something and see if I could twist this engine over. And the engine moves, then we know we got a starter problem. And if the engine doesn't move, still doesn't mean that the engine's bad. The starter gear could be caught up in the flywheel. So give me 1 second. Alright, so got that cover off, and the engine is sure enough not moving, but like I said, it's more than likely, hopefully due to the starter being stuck up inside. So I'm going to, I guess, have to remove this whole top cover just to double check that. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. I don't have it off yet, but don't be like this. Maintain your stuff. Like that, there's no reason for that. Literally. If you use your machine and you let this happen, you deserve whatever happens to it. I mean, that's ridiculous. Alright, folks, so I didn't need you to see all the stuff I was doing. It would have been boring. Just a bunch of 10mm bolts around the outside to get the top off. And still pretty locked up. Let me see if I could get it to... Oh, ooh, okay. Well, she's free now. Alrighty. Well, there we go. As you see, I mean, if you really want to watch, I can put it back together and let you watch. Just do the opposite, to take it apart. I'm going to give this guy a new air filter, whether he wants it or not, because that's ridiculous. So basically... Actually, I'm actually not going to put the cover back on because I'm going to have to order a starter and take the cover off again to put the starter in. Wonder if it will work now though. Hey! So, yeah, it was locked up. Definitely starter going bad. Working now though. So I don't know. Let me see if it'll even fire. Especially with all that fucking stuff in there. Sounds like it will. So this guy might have got lucky. Man, all that crap in there. But So basically, just get this cover. What the heck was that? Oh, I know what that was. Get that on there. That on there. That on here. There we go. Alright. Okay, not rubbing. Gotta get this thing out of here. Now, just a matter of figuring out. I'm gonna start it up and run it a few times after I get this back on. See if the starter ends up hanging up again. Because it's very strange for it to just lock up and then all of a sudden start working when it's unlocked up. Machines do weird things though. I will say that. So before I go too far, get a new air filter in. As you see, folks, I'm gonna call the customer, give him the option, putting a new starter on, because he said he's had trouble from time to time beforehand, and that's why when it just started clicking, he figured it was the solenoid, so he changed it. And the fact of the matter is, it was locked up for some reason, and more than likely the starter is going bad. But that was a little electrical diag and some stuff you can check. So a lot of people, you know, like him, just change the solenoid, and then you could have put a new starter on it, and it doesn't need one probably, but it really doesn't. You got to keep going further and further just to make sure you're not missing anything. The bad ground, I've had that bite me in the butt before. Because the bad ground, you'll get power all the way to the or the starter, so it'll act like you'll get 12 volts to the starter, and you'll be like, what the heck? Must be a bad starter. It's getting full voltage. And you buy a new starter, throw it on there. Come to find out, they had, on that particular instance, they had moved the battery ground because they put a bagger system on their mower, so they had to move the cable, and what they put the cable onto the bagging system, which was painted and not even really connected to the frame. So once I moved the battery cable back to the frame in a good clean spot, it started. So just things to check. This actually turned out a little bit better. Things you should do when you're looking into this. And any other questions or concerns, comment message me and I'll get back to you. Thank you.